In Dragon Ball, there has been many established races, such as Earthlings, Namekians, Saiyans, among many more. But one I want to talk about today is the Frieza clan. First introduced during the Frieza saga in Dragon Ball Z. Since then, he has been a constant within the universe, whether it's through being mentioned by a character or being resurrected for an arc. So today I'm going to take a look at the known Frieza race members, who they are and their transformations. However, I won't be including the characters from the games such as the hybrids and the Time Patrol Frieza race, as it gets a little bit confusing with them. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe as I come out with videos every Friday, and let's get into it. Frieza. Frieza first appeared in his own saga when King Kai warns Goku of Frieza and says he should not fight him as he is not powerful enough. Even Vegeta is wary and tries to avoid Frieza at all costs. It's only when Vegeta is confronted does he fight him. We learn that Frieza is the Emperor of the Universe, taking over from his father. In the Frieza saga, Vegeta learned from Zarbon that Frieza can transform and gain a power boost. His first form is one where he is smaller in size, black horns, a tail with a purple tip. He also wears Saiyan style armour and black shorts, but unlike his henchmen or any other Saiyans, his armour is actually purple. After he is resurrected in Super, he trains for 4 months, and in this form he is able to take out Super Saiyan Gohan with one blow. In his second form he is much taller, his power causes his armour to shatter, his horns are almost like a bull in shape and form, his tail is able to stretch for an attack. In his third form his appearance changes from the previous 2, his head is longer with 4 white horns and he loses his nose and has a more protruding face. He has spikes on his back and grows his own shoulder pads. This appearance is often compared to the Xenomorph from the Alien franchise. When going into his 4th/true form, he shatters his 3rd form, revealing this less intimidating form. He is taller than his first form, but completely white with accents of purple on his shoulders, forearms, shins, abdomen and head. In this form he controls how much power he can use. For example, in his fight with Goku, he says he uses 50 and then 70% of his power. He eventually bulks up to 100%, but later on in the series, after he is trained for 4 months, he is able to use 100% without having to bulk up. After being cut into pieces by his own attack and then blasted by Goku, and surviving the destruction of Namek, his father finds what is remaining of Frieza and uses technology to rebuild him, giving him the nickname of Mecha Frieza. His whole lower half, including his tail, is mechanical, as well as his left forearm and hand, and most of his head. This was the last time we saw Frieza for a while, after he and his father was defeated by a future version of Trunks. After he is resurrected in Super, he reveals that he has trained for 4 months and managed to unlock a new form, that being a golden version of his 4th form. At first he manages to overpower Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta. However, while this form is powerful, its weakness is that it drains his stamina and power incredibly fast, which ultimately leads to his defeat once again. In the Universe Saga, Frieza mentions he has mastered this form by meditating in Hell, now calling it True Golden Frieza. The last form we see of Frieza is called Black Frieza. In the Dragon Ball Super manga chapter 87, The Universe's Strongest appears, Frieza reveals his latest form by defeating Gas, as well as True Ultra Instinct Goku and Ultra Ego Vegeta with one blow. This form has the same look as his 4th and golden forms, but with mainly black with white and purple. Cooler. We first see Cooler in his own film, Cooler's Revenge, revealing that Frieza has a brother. He heads to Earth after learning that a Saiyan has killed his brother. He points out he is not doing it for revenge, but to honour his family name. We see Cooler in his fourth form at the beginning of the movie, which is much like Frieza's but with purple with white accents. Unlike Frieza though, who couldn't always stay in that form, Cooler has mastered this form and uses it as his base. During this film we also see a new, never before seen transformation. In this transformation, Cooler gets taller and grows 4 horns out of his head. On his shoulders, the white part arches over, he grows 2 spikes on his forearms, and a spike on his tail. He also has a visor that covers his mouth. Even though this transformation gives a massive power boost to Cooler, it is said he has only recently achieved this form and is defeated once Goku goes Super Saiyan. There is another version of this transformation. During Super Dragon Ball Heroes, Cooler manages to go golden in this form. In The Return of Cooler, Cooler has a completely metal body and can use multiple clones of himself. It turns out though that the remains of Cooler was actually fused with the Big Getty Star, becoming a giant head controlling the metal coolers. He does make a giant body out of wires to attack Goku, but once again is defeated. Much like his other form, this Metacooler appears in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, where his Metacooler version goes golden. However, he can't use this version for long without overheating. King Cold. First appearing with Mecha Frieza when he comes to Earth to find Goku to get revenge. However, he is met by a mysterious Super Saiyan who turns out to be future Trunks. After Frieza is once again defeated, King Cold tries to fight Trunks with Trunks' own sword, but failing, and eventually being defeated by the future Saiyan. We do see King Cold again in the anime during the Buu saga. He tries to escape hell, teaming with 4 of the Ginyu Force, his son, and Cell. They torture the Ogre Guardians until Goku and Pikkon come to save them, and eventually put the villains in jail. He is seen once again watching the fight when Goku is using the Spirit Bomb on Kid Buu. Within the Broly movie, he announces to King Vegeta and the Saiyans that he is retiring, and presents Frieza as their new ruler. In Dragon Ball Super Hero, he is shown when Magenta shows Dr. Hedo a recording of future Trunks' confrontation with Frieza and Cold. Unlike Frieza and Cooler, we don't see King Cold transform. However, his form we see is very much like the second form of Frieza. He does have inconsistencies with his height though, as sometimes he is only slightly taller than Frieza, and then sometimes in shots, Frieza only comes up to his knee when he's sitting. Chilled. Chilled is an ancestor of Frieza and King Cold. He has a similar look to first form Frieza, but with some differences. The dome on his head is orange, as is his leotard. His face, hands, chest, legs and feet are all a light purple. He has white armour-like pieces around his wrist, upper shoulders and ankles. He also has 2 short spikes on his shoulders. His horns are small, short and twisted. His face and body are also rounder than Frieza's. He was a space pirate who went to planet Plant after the soldiers he sent to conquer it died at the hands of Bardock. Bardock confuses Chilled with Frieza when he sees him, and they fight. Chilled is far stronger than Bardock until Bardock transforms into a Super Saiyan and is easily able to defeat him. Chilled appears in Super Dragon Ball Heroes with an ascended form. He still has the same look as before, but with a red aura around him. Vidro and Yamcha easily defeat him though, with a spirit ball that is encased in glass. Kurisa. Kurisa is the son of Frieza, however he only appears in a gag manga. He interrupts a battle and is rammed into the ground. He is in his first form, which is exactly the same as Frieza's, but he has a chestnut shaped head. When he emerges from the crater, he is covered in oil and removes his battle armour. This is when he transforms into his final form, and again is the same as Frieza's, but with a chestnut shaped head. Before we can see how strong he is though, the pages run out, so we'll never know. But there we go, every Frieza race from Dragon Ball I didn't know whether to include Frost, as he is basically Frieza but from Universe 6, and he isn't part of Frieza's Universe 7 race. But let me know, should I have included him? Let me know in the comments.